had no software. I'd been doing everything by paper, and it was getting overwhelming this year because my business actually did. My business grew last year and my business has grown this year. And when I saw her speak at GoPro, I just had faith in who she was and the fact that she wanted to give back to the community too. And that her success rate, I remember her specifically saying there's only 2 people that had an audit, and one of them had, and neither of them had anything to do with what she had done for them. It was things on their own side. And so I was like, okay, she's clearly a professional. She knows the business. She wouldn't be put here in front of all these people if she didn't know what she was doing. And the compassion and human touch that she had with the consultation call really made me feel like I was connecting with a human, even though we're literally thousands of miles away. And so that, I mean, she completely won me over as a human being with just those 2 things. And, you know, it's money, but at the end of the day, money carries a lot of emotion and potential in there for people. It's just what it is. So then I have a full-time job and I have my business, and I've been extremely busy being in a higher education information technology business or job with all of this hitting. And so even with how the deadlines went this year, I was having a hard time getting things done. And everybody on the whole team was extremely compassionate and consistent with me. There was a change in the platforms mid-year. There was confusion on my part with the supported app that helps you track everything. This year's been crazy. I didn't even realize it hasn't even been a year since I've met her. It felt longer. So once I figured all that out, and then started to get together, it actually was all the resources, support, and just her staff made it so easy. So when I finally got it done before the extension cut off, I already have both my refunds. I feel silly for the thousands of dollars I've literally lost in the 2018 tax year just because I didn't have someone like her. Just the sense of security, the sense that I can actually build my business from here without worry, and that especially getting through that first time, it literally, when she says less relaxing, more taxing, that elephant that sits on my chest when I think of having to do paperwork or anything like that is really lifted. And everyone's always like just incredibly helpful with questions. And like I said, the human component of it, not just her wanting to, I feel, truly see all of her clients succeed, but the fact that she gives back, and with the abundance and kind of universal reciprocity that she gets from giving. I love that she's also in that line of thought. It was like, whatever it is, even if, I don't know if this makes sense, but even if you do everything perfectly, it's like there's the threat of they will still find something wrong with whatever you did. And so that honestly was my first experience with taxes. I used to have just different jobs through my life. I'd have tax accountants say what they can and can't, what I could and could not write off. However, I was like, but I know I can. So it was very confusing to me when I could read something and know that I had the right to that deduction, and a tax professional would just brush it off. And I realized after I started doing them on my own, and I had basically someone who was a friend of a friend do my taxes and, you know, show me that I could take all those deductions, that a lot of places seem to just rob you of money, if that makes sense. what I was literally inputting in TurboTax was more advanced than the taxes they were doing for me. And I would maybe even have the same job. Like, I just felt like that human touch was there. They were just trying to get things processed, but not actually trying to help people. They just, or they didn't even know the tax law, if that makes sense. Like, they had such a base knowledge of it without really being a specialist in it, which is what I pay an accountant for. Is you're the specialist. I can figure out the basics. I can figure out things like that. My dad used to sit at the dinner. He's from Canada, and he was a citizen way later in life. So I saw him at our dining room table doing all the taxes by hand, line by line by line, saving all the receipts, doing all these things. And, when I turn all that stuff into an accountant and they have it done like in minutes in front of me inputting it, I'm like, something's not right. But I had fear of, well, if I don't do it and if I don't turn it in, like, what will happen? How do I maximize this? So I've had like various personal, I guess, trauma with tax because, like you would get afraid to do it. And that's kind of where it had ended up with TurboTax. Was I got to the point where the basic stuff that I managed to grasp wasn't going to be enough for a business that was actually successful. So it was like one of those double-edged, like a good blessing. Like, I'm actually making, 5 figures in both my job and my other one, to the fact that I'm practically at 6 figures. I need help, and hearing her speak, reading her book, watching her on Facebook, like, she literally, when she says she wants to help you maximize what you should have, and her confidence level, that just really spoke to me. She wasn't going to let things slide by. She wasn't going to just ignore things. And I know that experiencing with her staff, I feel like that trickles down from the top. And that if I do have questions, because I want to understand, I always want to improve my tax experience, because I'm just not, I'm really intimidated by it, but I also want to get what I should have. The staff's been really good about my questions to help me just comprehend it. And again, I feel like I'm actually at a specialist now, not at somebody who does the minimum and collects, a ton of, like, $300 for all of my work that just prepped it for them. Because I literally saw them just go type, type, type. Oh, you've made this so easy for me. And they were done in 15 minutes. And it still cost me like $250, however many years ago. But they could have found me more money. I know they could have, because of the expenses and things that happened in the year. So that's kind of like what it was before. I love knowing that she's got a staff, that she's not limited to the type of people how many people she can help.